This is our first presentation for American football and it is known as Football 101. In this PPT, we will be talking about the basics of American football, the position of the players on a field, the penalties, the ways of scoring, how do you play the game, such kind of basic information. So let's move forward. So American football is basically a sport that is played on a rectangular field of length 100 yards. So we will have two teams that will play against each other. Each team has 11 players. What are these teams called will be explained in the upcoming slides. So we will be talking about the levels of American football game, but these are not required to be known in depth. Only the levels need to be known. So let's move forward. There are four levels of American football. The first is club and youth, then it's high school, then comes college, and the highest level of American football is professional level, and the name of the league is NFL, that is National Football League. So let's move forward. Okay, so like we said, we have two teams in American football that are playing against each other. One team is known as the offensive team. Now, when you say offensive, the team that will have the possession of the ball through that play is known as the offensive team. The team that will try to score and take the ball forward is the offensive team, and the other team is known as the defensive team. Now, the aim of the defensive team is to try to stop the offensive team from scoring or trying to score more points or even going forward in the game. They will try to snatch the ball from the offensive team. So these are the two roles, two teams that will play in American football. Now the positions in which these players are standing on the field for a particular play is very important. So let's move to the next slide. Offensive positions. The goal of the offensive is to score a touchdown or a field goal. So basically the person who has the ball will try to make a goal or try to score. What a touchdown is, what a field goal is, we'll know at a later point when we are learning about the scoring phenomenon. Now let's just basically understand what the offensive team does and what the defensive team does. So this is what the offensive team is doing. The offensive linesman's job is to block opposing players on all plays run by offense. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so each team has 11 players, offense and defense. But in offensive team, there are four people that are really important. Four positions. The first will be the quarterback. The quarterback is the most important person in an offensive team. He is the one who actually makes the game move forward. He is the one who decides what play has to be done. Second is the wide receivers. Then comes the tight end, and then the center. This image basically talks about the positions of the offensive and defensive player. The white line that you see in the center is known as the line of scrimmage. That is where the play starts. That is where the ball will be kept. Now, because the ball is with the offensive team, they have the possession of the ball, it will be placed right in front of the center, which is right here. The ball will be right here. So let's talk about the positions. The ones in red circles are the offensive players. The ones in blue crosses is the defensive players. So while talking about play, the game will move forward from the offensive side and they will move upwards in this image, and in the game they are actually moving forward to score a goal or to advance in the game. So first, the center, right behind the ball we have the center, the player that is known as the center. Behind the center we have the quarterback, the most important player of the game. Behind the quarterback we have two players. They are known as fullback or running back, and behind the fullback is the halfback. Now next to the center there are guards standing on the other sides of the center. Next to the guards are the tackle. After these five players, there's another player close to these five that is known as the tight end. and you also have the wide receivers on either sides. These are the offensive positions. Moving to the defensive positions. Now, for us in tagging, only the offensive players are very important. Defensive players, we should only have the knowledge of these players. We don't have to go in depth. So let's just go through them. Now, in front of the center, we will have the middle linebacker. Next to him, we have the defensive tackle. Next to the defensive tackle, we have ends. Behind that, little away, we'll have outside linebacker. Next to them, we'll have the cornerback. And right at the back of this line, we will have the safety. 2 players as safety. This is what the position is all about. You just have to take a rough idea and understand where the players are standing, but only pay attention at the 4 important players: the center, the quarterback, the tight end, and the wide receivers. These are very important. Let's move forward. So, like we said, the defensive positions are not really important while we tag games, but it is good to know the position of the defensive players. Let's move forward. Well, there is something known as special teams. These teams only come in picture when there is some kicking play happening in the game. So while you're tagging the game, you will not be able to differentiate which special team has come in. They look like the offensive and defensive team, and they are a part of that team. They will only come in picture when there is some kicking happening. When there's normal game going on, the offensive and defensive teams only come into picture. Now we'll talk about the field of American football. The 100-yard field that is broken into various parts, but there are 4 very important parts. These are the yard lines, 2 end zones, the hash marks, and the 2 goal posts. Let me show you an image. You'll understand better. Okay, so this is the image that I was talking about. This is how the American football field looks like. So this one in red and the one in blue on the sides are known as the end zones. Okay, and this line that you can see on either side, these are the goal posts. These 4 lines are the pylons, not very important. So this is the sideline. This and this, these are the sidelines. Now these thick lines that you see, which are numbered as 10, 20, 30, 40, these are the 10-yard lines. And the lines in between these are known as the 5-yard line. Okay, and these small lines that you see at the sides, these are known as the 1-yard hash marks. This line that we see here that is connecting the field and the end zone is the goal line. And the last line of the field, it is known as the end line. So these terms you have to know to get a clear idea of the field. But these numbers that you see over here, 10, 20, 30, 40, you will understand when we are trying to tag the game. There are a lot of concepts involved in these numbers, and everything will be clear. So I think we can go back to our presentation. So this is an overall image. This is another image of the field where you can clearly see that these are the end zones. This is the goal post. You can see all the yard lines, the long lines running parallel to the goal line, to the end zone. These lines running parallel to the side line are known as the hash marks. So now we're going to talk about what the yard lines are. Let's go back to the image. So the lines that you see between your 10, 20, 30, 40, these are the yard lines. They are numbered at 10-yard interval from the goal line. This is the goal line right here. So this is 10 yards. This is another 10 yards. That's 20. This is another 10 yards. That is 30. Okay, let me just do a drawing so you understand. Okay. Okay, so this distance is the 10 yards, and I will do another which will help you understand. Okay, and this distance is the 5 yard. So this is the goal line, this is the 5 yard line, this is the 10th yard line. So I think it is basically understood if this is 0, this is 10, this is 5. So these lines in between will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then comes the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then comes the 10. And then we move forward. So this is 11, 12, 13, 14. This line in between 10 and 20 is 15. Then comes 20. So in between this is 21, 22, 23, 24. This is 25. This is 30, this is 35, this is 40, and so on. Okay. So I hope this is clear what yard lines are. Come back to this PPT. The 50-yard line divides the field in half. The offense must advance the ball 10 yards to gain a first down. Now what this last point means, I will not talk about that right now, but let's talk about the 50-yard line that divides the field in half. Let's come back to this image. Now this is the 50th yard line. This is the center. Now we know that this is a 100-yard field. It divides the entire field into two parts, 50 and 50. So this, from this goal line to this 50 is one part. From this goal line to this 50 is another part. This is one end zone. This is another end zone. So I think it's easy to understand that either of the teams are going to start from one side. Suppose you have team A and you have team A and team B. Okay, team A will start from this end zone. So this will be the defensive end zone. This is where a team will be standing on. They have to go on this side of the field to score their touchdown or their scoring point. For team B, if they're starting from here, this is their defensive end zone. They have to move towards this side to score their goal. Okay, so let's come back. Okay, yard lines is always viewed from the offensive perspective. The half of the field furthest from the goal line, after the offense crosses the 50-yard line, they are on the positive side of the field. Now to explain positive and negative, I need to go back to the image. Now we have team A and team B. Let's assume team A is our offensive team and team B is our defensive team. So the ball will be in possession of team A. This team has the ball. Now this is the line 50 that divides the field into two halves. This is one half that is closer to team A and the other half is closer to team B. So for A team, that is the offensive team, the team that comes before the 50th yard line is the negative zone, and the area for team A that comes after the 50th yard line is the positive area. Reason being, the first 50-yard lines are away from their end zone where they are supposed to score a goal, that is this side. This is team A's offensive end zone. This is their defensive area because here they'll be on defense. Here they are on offense. Why? Because they are supposed to score a goal on this side. So anything before the 50th yard line is the negative region for team A. And anything after 50 is positive. Why? Because they are closer to their end zone. Same way, when we take team B as our perspective, this will be the defensive end zone for team B. So this is the offensive end zone for team B. This is where they have to score. So any area, any yard line before the 50th yard line for team B is negative, which is away from their end zone. Any yard line after the 50th till their end zone is positive for team B because they are closer to their end zone. That is right here. Let's go back and go to the next image. Okay, there's a question here. The offense is starting on the left side of the field. That is this side. They are starting from here and moving towards the right. They are going this side like shown in the arrow. So suppose it is team A. Team A is on offense. They are starting from the left hand side. They are moving towards the right hand side of the field. So the left is their defensive end zone. This where they are moving towards is their offensive end zone. This is where they will try to score a goal or a touchdown. Now you have to answer this question. Is the offense on the plus or the minus side of the field? This is where they are standing. Remember the offensive position that we had discussed earlier? This is somewhat the position that they are standing on. They are moving this side. This is the end zone that they are going to score. So the question is the offense on the plus side of the field or the minus side of the field? Plus side is the one that is after 50. Minus is the one that is before 50. So the answer for this is the team is on the negative or the minus side of the field because they are on a yard line before 50. So just to take a rough guess, the yard line for this where the team is, the first line that the people are standing on is the offensive line. That is where the ball will be, right at the center. So this line is the yard line where the team is standing, where the ball is. So let's take a count. This is 0, this is 10, this is 15, 20, this is 30. So the team is on yard line 25. But like we discussed, this is on the minus side of the field. So the yard line for this team is minus 25. Let's go next image. Okay, the offense crosses the 50-yard line and is continuing to move towards the end zone. Now again, let's take two teams, team A and team B. Team A is on the left, moving towards the right, which is the offensive team. This is the end zone for team A to score a goal. Like the arrow says, it is going from left to right. It is already crossed 50, which means it is in the positive area of the field. So all the yard lines after this will count as plus, whichever yard line it is. If it was before, it was minus. Let's count the yard line. This is 50. This is 0. So this is where it scores the goal. This is 50. This yard line right next to 50 has to be, it can't be 51. There is no 51 in this. When we have to clearly understand why it is not 51, because if it is 51, comes between 50 and 60. Now here you can see 40. So this is 40 in yard line, and this yard line between 40 and 50, right next to 50 is 49. But this will be a positive 49. If it was before this 50, this was minus 49. Okay. So I will just explain it again. We have team A and team B. Team A is on the left hand side of the field, which is offensive team, and it is going towards the right hand side. This is the end zone where team A is going to score a goal. These long lines are the yard lines. These small lines in between are the hash marks. This is the goal line. This area before 50 is the negative area for the offensive team moving from left to right. The area after 50 till their goal line is positive area. So any yard line in this area is plus, any yard line in this region is minus. So let's start counting. This is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. But because this is negative, this will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. This is -10, -20, -30, -40. This is only 50. After this, okay, let's do this 40 to 50 again. It's -40, -41, -42, -43, -44, -45, -46, -47, -48, -49, 50. Negative is over. Now we're moving on to the positive zone. This number is 49. Now you move ulta. This is 49, 48, 47, 46, positive 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, positive 40, positive 30, positive 20, positive 10, positive 5, positive 4, 3, 2, 1, goal. So the next is end zones. End zone is the scoring area on the field between the goal line and the end line. This orange rectangle again specifies the end zone between the end line, that is the line on which the goal post is, and the goal line, that is the line between the end zone and the field. So this is the end zone. Again, team A on the left, team B on the right. Team A is the offensive team moving from left to right. So team A's end zone, scoring end zone is this. Team B moving from right to left. So scoring end zone for team B is this one. Each team has an end zone. The ball must be carried or passed over the goal line to score a touchdown. Now, touchdown is a scoring play in American football. If a team has to score a touchdown, it has to carry the ball or pass the ball across this goal line and enter into the end zone to score a touchdown. The end zone is outlined with white thick line and orange square pylons. That is, when you actually see the image of an end zone in the field, you will understand what pylons are. But for just a theoretical understanding, these orange squares are end zones on a field. Next is hash marks. Each hash mark is 1 yard apart. Hash marks run parallel to each other down the length of the field. Hash marks resemble a ladder going down the field. Let's go to the image. You can see these small squares, orange squares, that are explaining what hash marks are. They are running down parallel to the field. They are 1 yard apart. The 1 yard apart, you can understand why, because they are parallel to these yard lines. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These small lines run parallel to these yard lines. So hash marks, there will be 3 types of hash marks: left, right, and middle. So if team A is on the left, team B is on the right. Team A is moving from left to right in this direction. Okay. Team A is moving from left to right. So when we are looking at the image in this position, this is the left hash, this is the right hash, this is the middle. If the team is moving from the other side, that is here. Let me... Okay. Now the team B is moving from right to left. This will be the right hash. This will be the left hash. This part is obviously the middle. It won't change for anybody. Just giving you a rough idea of what types of hashes are there in the field. Coming back. Now let's talk about the rules of the game. So how does the game start? How do we move forward in the game? Now, first the game starts always with a kickoff. An American football game starts with a kickoff. Now we talked about the special teams. They come into picture here. Kickoff is obviously a kicking play. They will come, they will do a kickoff. They will kick the ball. Whichever team first grabs the ball will become the offensive team. Let's give an example. There is team A and team B. Team A is playing from the left hand side of the field, moving towards the right. Team B is playing towards on the right hand side of the field, moving towards the left. The kickoff happens. Special teams come in, do a kickoff. The ball will go. Whichever team catches the possession of the ball will become the offensive team, and the next play will start. So team A is the offensive team because that team has caught the ball now. They have got the ball on some yard line on the field. Team A, maybe the ball after the kickoff has landed here on this yard line. So the next play will start from where the ball was dropped. Suppose some play happens, the ball lands over here, this side, and team A only has the ball. Team A is moving from left to right. The ball is right here on 30. So the yard line for team A is going to be 30 number, but because it has crossed the 50 yard line, it has moved into its positive area. This yard line is going to be plus 30, and this is the direction that the team is going. So this direction plus 30, this is where the play will start. So when the teams are in position, offensive and defensive teams, the ball is placed in front of the center. The center will snap the ball to the quarterback standing right behind him. Snap is a term wherein the center will stand bending. The ball will be in front of him and his hand will be placed on the ball. He will snap the ball through his legs, between his legs, behind to the quarterback. There will be multiple videos for you to watch on YouTube on this snap. The snap is backward passing of the ball in between his legs, gives the ball to the quarterback standing right behind, and the game is started. This last point is not of any importance for us right now. Okay, the offensive team will move down the field in a series of downs. Downs is another word for chances. Now we know that the entire field is divided into yards, yard lines. The 100-yard field is divided into 10 yards. A team is allowed 4 downs, 4 chances to cover a minimum distance of 10 yards. So let's come back here. Suppose team A is our first team, offensive team, that is starting from left to right. Now the first chance that they get after the kickoff, the team is supposed standing on 20th yard line. Because this 20 is before the 50th yard line, it is in the negative region. So this yard line for team A is minus 20. For minus 20, they will get 4 chances to cover a distance of 10 yards. So if they are on minus 20, after or before 4 chances, they have to cover 10 yards. That is, they have to reach 30th yard line or above it. If the offensive team move the ball 10 or more yards, they get a first down. That is, they get a new set of 4 downs. Let's come back to the image. Team A again, we are on minus 20. Some play happens. The ball is moving on the field. The players are moving on the field forward. Suppose the first down they cover only 2 yards. So they only able to reach here. That is 22. That will be minus 20. So next play will start from minus 22. After 22, that will be their second down. The first down they were on 20, they covered 2 yards. They are on minus 22, they get their second down. That is their second down, second chance. Maybe they cover another 3 yards. So from minus 22 to 3, they are here. 1, 2, 3. They reach 25. Because this team A is on the negative side of the field, this yard line will be 25. So on third chance, they will start from minus 25. That is here. And maybe in the third chance, they cover 7 yards. So from 25, 7 is 32. It is minus 32. Why? Because team A is on the left hand side of the field. So we started from minus 20, and in third yards you have reached 32. So from 20 to 32 we have covered a distance of 12 yards, which is obviously more than 10. So within 4 chances you have managed to cover a distance of more than 10. So the team is going to get a new set of 4 chances. So from 32, team A is going to get first chance. Again, first down starting from line 32. If the offensive team does not cover the 10 yards distance in the 4 downs, suppose first chance they are covering 2. First chance from minus 20. Suppose they start from minus 20. They are covering a distance in the first down, they are at minus 20. They cover a distance of 5. Second down, they are at minus 25. Third down, something happens, they are covering only 1, 26. Fourth down, also they are able to cover only 1 yard because the defensive team is able to not letting them go ahead. They are able to capture the ball or maybe try to stop them between this yard. So maybe they cross another one, they are at 26, 27. Fourth down, also they are still at 28 maybe. So they started at 20. After 4 downs, they're still at 28. They covered only 8 yards, wherein they had to cover a distance of 10 yards within a 4 chance period, which they didn't do it. So what happens is the ball is turned over to the defensive. Turnover means the ball is now in possession of the defensive team. They have to give the ball to the defensive team. Let's go through this again. Offense moves down the field by completing a series of downs. Downs is the number of chances that a team gets. One team will get 4 chances to cover a distance of 10 yards. If in the 4 chances they are able to cover the 10 yards, maybe 4 or less than 4 chances they are able to cover the 10 yards, they will get the new set of 4 chances, 4 downs. If they are unable to cover those 10 yards in the 4 downs, the team will have to give the ball to the defensive, the other team. On the 4th down, after 3 failed attempts, the offensive team by then can judge that they might not be able to cover the distance, the 10 yards that is required to get the new set of downs or to move forward. And then eventually they have to give the ball to the away team. So they have 3 chances, 3 options on the 4th down. The first is just to play, maybe just to do another snap and maybe see where the ball goes, just to take an attempt. The second option is known as a punt. The third option is known as a field goal. Punt means just to kick the ball across the field to the defensive team, because anyways they know that they're not able to cover the 10 yards. They have to give the ball to the away team, so they will punt the ball to the away team, that is kick the ball across to the away team as far as possible, because then the distance for the away team towards their end zone will become high. Let's go back to this image. Now we have team A and team B. Team A, after the kickoff, maybe the ball is at 30th yard line. Now this 30 is before the 50th yard line, towards where the team A is going, which means this is minus region. So this is minus yard line. So this is minus 30 for the team. They are moving from left to right. In 4 downs, they are not able to cover 10 yards. That means they are not able to touch the minus 40 or go beyond it. So the fourth down, they know that they are not able to cover it. So fourth down, they have an option to punt the ball, that is to kick the ball. Punt is also a kicking play, so this is where the special teams will come in picture. But in the play, we will not be able to differentiate it much. So at the fourth down, maybe it is at say 37, minus 37, they punt the ball. Now team A is here, team B is here. This is the away team, this side. Now wherever the ball falls, the next team will have to start from there. So if the next team gets the ball, team B will now have the ball. So team B becomes your offensive team in the next play, and team A will become your defensive team. So if team B is the offense, this will be their scoring end zone. So if team A at the fourth attempt can kick the ball from left to right as far as possible, if they kick it somewhere around here, this region is very far from their end zone. The difficulty of scoring a goal for team B is higher. That's why team A will try and punt or kick the ball at the fourth down as far as possible away from their scoring end zone, so that the difficulty level for them increases. So punt is just kicking or giving away the ball to the away team. The other option is a field goal. Field goal is another kicking play. Field goal, where the fourth down is where the ball is, the team will try and kick the ball, but not give it to the other team, but they will try to kick the ball through the goal post. This yellow color goal post that you can see, if this is their scoring end zone, this is their scoring goal post. So you suppose they are on minus 37 on their fourth down, and they think that they can score a field goal, which is tough from this line, but they will try and kick the ball through the goal post. If they are able to do it, that is a field goal, and they are going to get 3 points for that goal. Let's move ahead. Okay, so there are ways of moving on the field. The offense can take the ball down the field in two ways, that is running or passing. You can either take the ball and run across the field towards their end zone, or if you have the ball and you have defensive players around you, you can pass the ball to the other team member. If they are a little closer to their end zone, you pass the ball to them, they catch it, and then they run towards the end zone to complete your goal. So there are two ways, running and passing. Okay, so let's discuss the time of the American football game. A high school game will be a 48-minute long game. It will be divided into 4 quarters, 12-minute 4 quarters. So quarters for us is very important to identify quarters in a game. College games are 60-minute long, divided into 15-minute 4 quarters. The game begins with a coin toss. First 2 quarters is known as the first half. The second 2 quarters are known as the second half. Between the first and second half, there is a 15-minute break called as the halftime. But this all will not be visible to us while we are tagging. Halftime and all, no breaks. We will only see the plays. We should be able to identify quarters easily, and that you will understand when you start tagging the game. So like we had discussed, an American football game has 4 quarters. A game goes into overtime when the score is tied at the end of regulation. After the 4 quarters are played, if both the teams are tied, the game will go into overtime. To understand this, let's go back to our image. So let's understand that our game of American football will always start with a kickoff. Kickoff starts from a fixed yard line, that is minus 40. Let's take our example. Suppose we have team A with black jersey, black team, starting from the left hand side going towards the right hand side, and team B, that is the team with the white jersey, starting from the right hand side going towards the left hand side. Team A, maybe black jerseys, are doing the kickoff. They have to stand in a particular formation. That particular formation, the ball will be at minus 40 here. They will kick the ball. Kickoff means they will kick the ball to give it to the other team. Kickoff is not a scoring play. They just kick the ball to give it to the other team. The members of the team white will pick the ball and they will start running from right where they are towards the left, that is trying to get closer to their end zone. So if they start running from right to left, and suppose they are captured or tackled by team A at this yard line. Now this yard line for team B. Now team B has got the ball. They are the offensive team. So for the next play, they're going to start from where the ball has dropped, that is this yard line. This area is before 50. So for this team, this is minus region. So this yard line is minus 40. They will start from here, going like this towards this end zone. Kickoff happened. Team B has got the ball. They have to start from minus 40. They will stand in position. The ball will be here. The center, behind the center, there will be the quarterback and the other offensive players. In front of this line, you will have the defensive team, that is team A, standing to grab the ball or capture the ball or not let team B move forward. So team B from minus 40 yard line, they have to cover a minimum distance of 10 yards to cover their 4 chances. So they get 4 attempts to from minus 40 to reach beyond 50 or touch 50. So if they are able to do so in maybe 4 or less than 4 attempts, they will get another set of 4 attempts. If they are not able to cover this 10 yards within the 4 attempts, the ball will go to the other team. At the 4th down, if team B is not able to cover the 10-yard distance, they have 3 options on the 4th down. One is to just take an attempt and just let's give it a try to see if they are able to cover the remaining yards to cover 10. Or else the second option is to punt. They will again stand at a kicking formation to kick the ball to give to team A. And now team B will try to kick the ball as far as possible. There was this side, because team A, if it catches the ball here, they are very, very much away from their end zone. So that is the point of punt. The third option is a field goal. If they are around before 50 and they know that they can score a field goal, they will try and kick the ball through this goal post, which is their scoring goal post. If they are able to do it, if the ball goes across this, the team will be awarded with 3 points. Then they get a field goal. Now after these attempts that go on, team B, A is your, team B is your. So this is the first quarter. Kickoff, these plays happening the first quarter. Team A is on the left, team B is on the right. Now suddenly you will realize on the field, team B is on this side, left side, team A is on the right hand side. The teams will switch sides. When the team switch sides, suddenly you have to realize that the second quarter has started. So the second quarter goes on, the plays are going on. Suddenly you will again see a kickoff. The first kickoff was taken by team A. The other kickoff that you see suddenly it's a sudden kickoff and it is taken by team B. Now we have to understand that this kickoff is the kickoff for the beginning of the third quarter. The third quarter begins with a kickoff, and the kickoff will always be from the opposite team. Opposite team, the team which took the kickoff in the first quarter, The opposite team will take the kickoff at the beginning of the third quarter. The third quarter goes on, all the plays are happening. Suddenly, again, we'll observe the teams have switched sides. That will be your fourth quarter. That's how you identify quarters. Let's do it again. The kickoff happens. Team A is on the left, team B is on the right. Suddenly, sides have changed. B is on the left, A is on the right. That is second quarter. Plays are happening. Suddenly, you see a kickoff happening. Team B is taking a kickoff. Where in first quarter, team A took a kickoff. So we've understood that the opposite team has taken a kickoff, which means the third quarter has started. Again, your normal plays are on. Again, the sides have switched. Then we understand the fourth quarter has started. After the fourth quarter is almost over, the teams have tied. But the quarter is over, teams have tied. So now we will have to go into an overtime. Now again, after the fourth quarter, when you see suddenly again the sides have changed, which means the fifth quarter has started. That is the overtime quarter. So you always denote that by 5. Now after 5, how many ever times the sides change, we have to denote it as 5. There is no quarter 6 or quarter 7. So the normal play will be like kickoff, quarter 1, sides change, quarter 2. Again, kickoff from the opposite team, quarter 3, side change, quarter 4. After quarter 4, if again side changes, that means quarter 5. After quarter 5, if again the size has changed, which means it is still quarter 5. We do not denote it as quarter 6 or quarter 7. Okay, next. Types of plays. There are 3 types of plays in American football: running, passing, and kicking. Now we saw a lot of options of kicking, like kickoff, punt, field goal. These are options of a kicking play. Running plays. Running play occurs when the quarterback keeps the ball and runs towards the end zone. So, like we said, the kickoff happens. After the kickoff, one team will get the ball. Team A has got the ball. Team B maybe did the kickoff. Team A now has the possession of the ball. Now Team A will start the play. The center will snap the ball in between his legs towards the quarterback. The quarterback will grab the ball and run across the field towards the end zone to try and score a touchdown. So that is a running play. Also, when the quarterback hands over the ball to the other player. By handover, I mean when he is just underarm passing the ball hand to hand to another player of his team, and then that player is running with the ball across towards the end zone. This gesture is also known as a run play. There are 2 ways. Either the quarterback only catches the ball and he'll run across the field, or else underarm he will hand over the ball to another player, which is also known as run play. So there are some videos of run play that you all can watch on the PPT, or also you all can check out YouTube for a couple of videos. Yeah, so you can read this. The quarterback hands off or pitches the ball to another player. By pitches, I mean just underarm, hand to hand, he will give the ball to the other player from his team. And the quarterback maintains possession of the football and runs it down. Means he has the ball with himself and he only runs across the field towards his end zone. Next is passing plays. So we've covered run. We know what a kick is. The last one is a passing play. A passing play is when the quarterback moves his arm over his head and releases the ball. Now we said when the quarterback will underarm give the ball or hand to hand give the ball to the other team, it's a run. So when he overarm passes the ball to his team member, when the arms are above his head and he's throwing the ball to the other team member, that is a pass. The quarterback throws the ball to the intended receiver. Whoever from his team is maybe closer to him or is able to catch the ball, he will look at him and he will throw the ball and the other person has to catch it. That is a pass that happened. The intended receiver will attempt to catch the ball and run. So that pass that is complete. Like the quarterback, I throw the ball to the other person in my team. He will catch the ball and then he has to run. He cannot pass the ball again. Only one pass is allowed. Next, you can watch videos of passing plays here, or you can also watch some videos on YouTube. Then again, last one is kicking plays. Now, where all do kicking plays happen in a game? We discussed the game starts with a kickoff. So first, there will be a kickoff at the beginning of the first quarter. Then there will be a kickoff at the beginning of the second half. We also discussed this. The third quarter starts with a kickoff, but kickoff from the opposite team in the third quarter. So first quarter starts with a kickoff, third quarter starts with a kickoff. After every touchdown has been scored, that is the most important scoring point, touchdown. When a touchdown is scored by any team, the team gets a kickoff after that. Let's move next. Watch some videos. Okay, we've also discussed this earlier. What are punts? Punts basically occur on the fourth down. Like we said, a team has got 4 downs, 4 chances to cover a distance of minimum of 10 yards. If they are unable to do it after 3 failed attempts on the fourth one, they get 3 options. The first one is just to take an attempt, just to go for a ball or maybe run or pass with the ball. The second one is a punt. So in punt, the ball is snapped to the punter from the line of scrimmage. Now we know line of scrimmage is where the ball is kept. Now when the snap happens, the punter, the person who has the ball will first snap the ball between his legs to the person behind. That person will then kick the ball across the field towards the other team, to give it to the other team. Let's read ahead. The punter then punts or kicks the ball to the opposite team. The goal of the punt is to limit opportunity for good field position. This is what I had explained earlier. To limit the opportunity for a good field position, we will try and kick the ball as far as possible, which makes the other team's end zone very much away for them, and it is difficult for them to score a goal. You can watch videos for a punt, or you can even check out YouTube. Next, we are going to just go through the ways of scoring in an American football game. These are the most common scoring ways. The first is a touchdown. A touchdown occurs when a ball is passed or carried over the goal line and it is worth 6 points. Like we said, there are ways of moving the ball across the field. The team that has the ball is the offensive team. The offensive team has 2 ways, either to run with the ball or pass the ball to a member who is close enough to the end line, to the goal line, and they are able to score a touchdown. So whenever any player crosses the goal line, moves into the end zone, or has passed the ball to some other player and the other player has crossed the end zone and has touched the ball to the ground, that is a touchdown, and that is worth 6 points for that team. You can watch some videos for a touchdown. After a team has done touchdown, after a team does score a goal, gets 6 points awarded for that. After that, the team gets an advantage, another chance after a touchdown. So the team gets 2 options for that chance. The first one is a extra point. You can read here, extra point occurs after a touchdown when the offensive team attempts to kick the ball to the goal post. Now in this attempt, the offensive team, the team that has just scored the touchdown, will stand at the positive 3 yard line. Now, when I'm talking about this example, Team A and Team B, Team A was the offensive team. Team A has scored a touchdown. They move from left towards this end zone. They've carried the ball or passed the ball towards this line, went into the end zone and did a touchdown. They've got 6 points for that. After that, they get another chance. That chance has two options. The first one is extra point. For that, they have to stand on the positive 3-yard line. For team A, if this is the end zone, this is the positive area, that is after 50. So positive 3 will come here. This is their positive 3. They stand here, usually in the center. And from this plus 3, they have to kick the ball across this goalpost. If they are able to do it, they are awarded 1 point for it. If they are unable to do it, then they get nothing, only the 6 points that they scored for the touchdown. That's the first option, extra point. The second option that they have is a 2-point conversion. In the 2-point conversion, same way they will stand on the plus 3 line, usually again in the center. Now in this 2-point conversion, they don't have to kick the ball through the goalpost. They have to do what they would normally do in a game. Either run with the ball and cross the goal line and reach the end zone, or pass the ball across the goal line, reach the end zone to again do a touchdown. But this time it will be from the plus 3 line, because this is an advantage for them because they've already scored a touchdown. So they have two options after touchdown. First is extra point, that is done from a plus 3 line, plus 3-yard line. They have to kick the ball across the goalpost. If they are able to do it, they are awarded 1 point. The second option is a 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion. The offense can also attempt a 2-point conversion. The offense must run the ball or pass the ball through the end zone instead of kicking like an extra point. If they are successful, again they will get 2 points. Both these options, extra point and 2-point conversion, are taken from a positive 3-yard line because this is an advantage for the team for scoring a touchdown. Please do watch videos for this on YouTube or on this PPT. Okay, the next one is a field goal. We've already discussed what a field goal is. So like we said, team gets 4 downs, 4 attempts to cover a distance of 10 yards. If they are unable to do that in 3 attempts, in the 4th attempt, the last one, they have 3 options: either to just go for it, take an attempt, run or pass the ball. Second one is to punt the ball, that is to kick the ball to the away team as far as possible, to making it difficult for them to run towards their end zone. The third one is a field goal. In the field goal, they have to kick the ball across the goalpost from whichever yard line they are on the 4th down. They have to kick the ball across the goalpost, and if they are successful, they are awarded 3 points for that. So let's just read. A field goal typically occurs on the 4th down when the offense is in range of the end zone but not able to score a touchdown. Field goal is a last chance to score points before the ball is turned over to the defense. A football must be kicked through the goalpost. A field goal is worth 3 points. So if they are able to score a field goal, they will get a kickoff after that. You can watch videos. Okay. The last scoring point is known as a safety. Now, what is a safety? A safety occurs when an offensive player gets tackled inside his end zone. Let's come back to our example. Now, team A is our offense, team B is our defense. A has to advance the ball from this side to this end zone. So maybe the kickoff happened, they got tackled around 10-yard line. Okay, something happened, their kickoff happened at minus 40. I think they got tackled way behind. They must have reached minus 10. Just an example. They are here. They have to reach here. Okay, A is the offensive team, this is the defensive team. Now for team B, this is the end zone and team A is here. So it is very easy for team B to take the ball and just reach here. If team B can grab the ball between the play and they can run across their end zone and make a touchdown, they are awarded 6 points for that. So team A is standing at -10, trying to go towards this end zone, but they get tackled and they are dragged behind towards this end zone and they are tackled here. The defensive team grabs them, jumps on them and takes them, pushes them and brings them into this end zone. If this happens, this is known as a safety. Let's go back and read. A safety occurs when an offensive player gets tackled inside his end zone. This is his end zone, offensive end zone. This is his scoring end zone. Okay. The defensive team will get 2 points for a safety. All scoring points are awarded to the offensive team. Touchdown, field goal, 1 point, 2 point, everything awarded to the offensive team. But a safety is awarded to the defensive team because the defense will tackle the offense into their end zone. The offensive team will not get any points. The defensive team will then gain the possession of the football. So after this team A is tackled inside this end zone, team B gets 2 points. Obviously team A has lost the possession of the ball. Team B has to get the ball, but we can't just suddenly give the ball to team B. There has to be a kickoff that happens. Kickoff usually means just handing over the ball to the other team. So team A, after gets tackled here in the next play, will do a kickoff. Team A will kick off the ball to give it to team B because they have now gained the possession. This kickoff does not happen from -40. This kickoff, the kickoff after a safety, will happen from -20 yard line. Here. All the other kickoffs take place from -40 yard line, but the kickoff after a safety will take place from -20 yard line. Next. Okay, let's talk about the referees in our game. Referees in our game usually use hand signals and yellow flags to indicate signals and to indicate penalties. The referees wear black and white striped uniform, like seen here. They are wearing black and white striped uniform jersey, and they have a yellow color flag in hand that they throw it whenever a penalty happens. Penalty is a violation of the rules. Let's come back. Usually there are 4 to 6 referees on the field. This is just basic information about referees and how they look and what do they have in their hands. So the yellow flag that we talk about, usually referees throw the yellow flag to indicate a penalty. Penalty is a violation of rules. Either of the team can do a violation. Whenever any team does a violation, a flag is thrown and it is clearly visible on the field. Hence the yellow color. A referee will call a penalty by throwing a yellow penalty flag near the spot where the violation occurred. So he will be standing around, like we said, there are 4 to 6 referees on the field. So we have the line of scrimmage. Actually, let's use this. Okay, let's use this. This is where the ball is usually in the center. This is the line of scrimmage. This is where the play will start. So you usually have one referee behind the offensive team, one referee stands behind the defensive team, one referee will stand on either side of the line of the scrimmage, and there will be 2 other referees standing randomly on the field. So that's how 4 and 6 referees are placed. So how do you differentiate the referee? The referee standing behind the offensive team, this is the offensive team going this side, the referee standing behind them will always be having a white cap. They'll always wear a white cap. And the referee standing behind the defensive team will always wear a black cap. That's how you differentiate the referees. Let's go back. Okay. So we have common signals that the referees will do, and it's clearly visible because there are two referees standing on the line of scrimmage either sides. This is the referee signal for a touchdown. Touchdown is when a team member of an offensive team will run the ball or pass the ball across the end zone. They are awarded 6 points for that. This is the referee signal for it. After a touchdown, the team gets an advantage. They have two options for that advantage: either a extra point from a they can kick the ball across the goalpost from a 3 point yard line plus 3 yard line. If they're able to do it, they get 1 point. The referee signal is again the same. And if they get a field goal at the fourth attempt, if they're trying to take a field goal that is kicking the ball across the goalpost and they're successful, then it is the same referee signal. His hands above his head on either sides of his shoulder. Next. These are not very important for a game. This is one of the most important referee signals. These are just basic information. You can just go through it. Offsides. This is also important. Safety. Safety is also a scoring parameter, but for the defensive team. The offensive team does not get points for it because they are tackled in their end zone. Hands above the head, like a namaste. The defense gets 2 points for it.